Okay, really quickly, I'm going to switch to the case chart. If you do not have one, please make sure that you're sketching it down. Otherwise, there is one linked on the website as well that you can print out in totality. But I'm going to go over those examples again and explain them using the case chart. So here's the case chart. The new endings are S and S, R, S and S, and R. These S plus S's, those were the examples like des Professors. So we've got masculine, genitive, des. So this S doesn't stand for das like it did up in the neuter column. It stands for des, so of the. And the second S, just like in the nominative, the second N, or in the dative, the second N, the second S goes on the end of the noun. Then we had an example where I said meine Schwester. Schwester is feminine. Going all the way down, we have an ein word. You're adding an ER, so that's this R, ER, so meine Schwester. Notice how that looks the same as in dative. There's no difference between the two, so context is going to have to tell you which one it is. Neuter is the same as masculine, and plural is the same as feminine, but of course plural is different from dative, so those two should be easy to pick apart. So what context are you going to use to make sense of this being the same as this? I'm going to go back to the examples I'd written for you guys. Okay, at the very bottom I had das Plüschtier meiner Schwester. So this could very well be dative. It is not, because it is following another noun, right? So you've got das Plüschtier. You have something that she is able to possess. So whenever you have these genitive clauses, again, you're reversing, you're moving the thing that is possessed to the front and then following it by a genitive phrase. So even though this is an ER and it is marked the same, this word order is only going to happen when you have a genitive statement. Okay, so about this ES, flip back to the other page. Okay, on your case chart it says S plus S for 2 columns, and those were masculine and neuter things. So your der and das nouns. Both of those have the S plus S. Now, the rule is super strange. It is sort of an odd rule. If you have a 1-syllable word, 1-syllable word, so like Kind or Hund or Mann, so we've got something that is das, neuter, masculine, der Hund, masculine, der Mann. So only in these genders you have the S plus S, so only in these genders does it matter. If it is 1 syllable, so a short word, you're going to add an extra E. So you're going to say Kindes, Hundes, Mannes. Okay, so if it is 1 syllable or short, you're going to add an extra E. When I had the example Professor, we have Professor. So that is 3 syllables. So no extra E. So in this case it becomes Professors by just adding an S to the end of that word. So the S plus S rule, whenever you add the E, is a little bit odd. All right, I want you guys to flip to page 260 in your workbook. It is going to be titled Der Genitiv, and we are going to practice with some sentences. So it gives you one example. They went through, and they have all the parts of the sentence, and they have marked whether or not it's a question or an answer. And these questions do correspond to some of the answers that are listed, but not always. So kriegen, by the way, is kind of an odd word. It is another word for bekommen, which means to get. Okay, so same word. what you have to do, you're going to conjugate the verb and then complete the sentence with some logic. One thing is owned by a person in the sentence. So in this case, you have your father and the car, or the wagon, but the car. In this case, the father, of course, is the one that's owning something. He's the person. So he's the thing you're making into genitive. So again, the word order was, if you're not using a name, it is going to follow. So it's a yes or no question. There's no question word. We're starting with a verb. Kriegst. Let me zoom in so you guys can actually maybe see this. Kriegst du stays den Wagen. In this case, this is the accusative thing because it's a thing that is being verbed. So are you getting the car? So the car is the thing that's being gotten. So accusative case. And then deines, es ending, and vaters, an s ending. No e here because vater is 2 syllables. I'm going to do one with you guys, and then I want you guys to do the remainder. So we've got sein, der Motor, dieser Wagen, and sehr gut. So we don't have a person in there at all. We have the verb to be. It is not a question, so we're not going to start with that. And we've got a cognate that you guys probably haven't seen before, the motor or the engine. Dieser Wagen, this car. Very good. So what two things could be owned, or what could own something else or be part of something else? All right, so hopefully you got that. The engine belongs to the car else. Got it? The engine is part of the car. So this is the owner. So as the owner of something, this part is going to be marked as genitive case. And der Motor is the only other thing in the sentence. In this case, this is going to be our subject, so we're going to use nominative case for this one. So I'm going to start with der Motor. And then word order dictates that I have to follow it by this part. Now, dieser is a der word, so it's still at that top column. Now I have it ER on there because it's masculine. It's just telling you that. Why do I swap that out for? Okay, so dieses Wagens, there's my extra S, ist sehr gut. So that's my sentence. All right, I want you guys to do the rest on this page. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you don't understand any of the words. The one oddball that I see right away is gefallen, which again was to be pleasing to. So that was one of the dative verbs that we used. It creates some chaos because you have this dative dia because of it. All right, let me know.